In 1982, a natural gas pipeline was initiated across West Africa as a key regional economic goal proposed by the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. The agreement came into existence in 1995 when the heads of states of Benin, Ghana, Nigeria, and Togo signed the agreement for the development of the West African gas pipeline. Based on private investment and commercial principles. Five years later, the four nations signed intergovernmental agreement for harmonized fiscal and regulatory regime for the development, construction, and operation of the pipeline. In 2003, the four stakeholders again signed the West African Gas Pipeline Treaty and the formation of the West African Gas Pipeline Company Limited, WAPCO, a joint venture between public and private sector companies from Benin, Ghana, Nigeria, and Togo. By 2005, the final environmental impact assessment permits were granted by the environmental authorities in Benin, Ghana, and Togo, and the pipeline license granted to construct pipeline by the four state parties, while commercial operations began in 2011. The West African Gas Pipeline Project consists of 681-kilometer pipeline to transport natural gas from Nigeria to Benin, Togo, and Ghana for power plants and heat-using industries in a safe, responsible, and reliable manner at prices competitive with other fuel alternatives. 85% of the gas is for power generation and the remaining for industrial applications. In recent times, there have been threats to the supply of the product, which links into the existing Escravos Lagos to a beachhead in Lagos to offshore Takoradi in Ghana, extending to Cotonou in Benin, Lomé in Togo, and Tema in Ghana again. That's the main reason for the gathering of the Committee of Ministers on Regional Gas Supply, tagged Solidarity through Sustainable Gas Supply for Energy Security. Accusing fingers are pointed at the destructive activities of vandals in the Niger Delta region, which have cut down the volume of gas supplies in the West African sub-region.
Dr. Ibe Kachuku to address this gathering.
The issue of the non-payment of bills from gas supplied to benefiting members have also impacted negatively on the objective for embarking on the project in the first place.
First, let me start by extending the very warm felicitations of His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari for your visit, and to inform you that he's deeply engaged, even though remotely, with the processes we're going to have here over the next few hours. And like me, he's very interested in finding common solutions to the problems that you've sort of listed in the last few minutes. As you're aware, he was a critical mass in the formation of this body during his time both as a head of state then, and then also as a past petroleum minister, and continues to believe that the commonality of our relationships are best actualized by the presence of projects and programs such as this, so we must not let it fail. I will very humbly join him in also welcoming you to Abuja and to this meeting, and apologizing that the meeting that we had intended to hold in March didn't hold. But then, of course, that whole problem is then exacerbated further by the fact of the difficulties we face in the Nigerian petroleum industry. Not just difficulties arising from non-speedy development of adequate infrastructure in the oil and gas sector, but also the difficulties of the militancy attacks that have imperiled our ability to move at a sort of rapid pace that we would have loved to in provision of this very unique energy mix.
You may do as the previous...
Speaking also at the opening ceremony of the Committee of Ministers of the West Africa Gas Project in Abuja, the Managing Director of WAPCO, Mr. Walt Perez, states that the company is faced with huge indebtedness totaling about $179 million and dwindling cash flows. He further lamented the huge debts owed to the company and its troubling cash flow situation, stating that since August 2014, WAPCO had not been receiving full and consistent payments for gas delivery from its biggest customer, the Volta River Authority, VRA.
We have successfully completed an intelligent pigging program of the onshore segment of the pipeline in November of 2014. We have stewarded safety performance as a core competency for WAPCO. And as a result, the company has not sustained a lost time injury since May of 2014. Although the WAPCO has for some time been technically capable of transporting volumes of natural gas up to contractual levels, actual daily receipts have remained below contracted levels and are now putting the commercial viability of the WAGP project in significant doubt. The problem with low gas volumes has been exacerbated by the force majeure declared in 2013 and which still remains in effect today. And this has led to a huge backlog of unpaid invoices totaling in excess of $104 million US. That's due to WAPCO's account, plus an additional $75 million owed to NGAS. The company initially appeared to be resilient in the face of drastically reduced revenue flows because gas transmission and other operational activities continued. The reality, however, is that WAPCO has been floundering. In fact, we've been conserving cash in order to prolong our time in operation. And as a result, WAPCO is now operating under extreme austerity conditions. Under current conditions, WAPCO is unable to service its debt, nor undertake critical maintenance schedules, and with a much reduced capacity to pursue growth of any kind at this time. Having initially relied on little available cash to perform routine tasks under an austerity budget, the continuous contraction of revenue levels has now eroded the company's capacity to remain above water and threatens its ability to survive as a business entity. Honorable committee members, these are extremely stressful times with a disturbingly sober outlook. I believe you would agree with me that the West African gas pipeline remains a key asset in the region's quest for energy self-sufficiency and economic integration as conceived by ECOWAS many years ago. Now operating under an open access regime with a potentially diversified range of suppliers from Nigeria and substantial supply of gas from Ghana, the WAGP is presented with a set of opportunities unknown at the time the pipeline was conceived. Honorable ministers, we have a region racing ahead with promising and unparalleled growth in demand for and supply of natural gas and a pipeline system challenged to keep pace. We at WAPCO are ready to take up that challenge with a compelling new vision of the economic opportunities that will emerge for all stakeholders. But we need help as a company, and as expected, we appeal to this committee. We urgently seek the support of this committee to reverse the declining financial condition of WAPCO and to help create the right environment for the reemergence of WAGP as a regional tool for energy integration for which it was envisioned.